You probably remember Aretha Franklin, the Queen of Soul, whose powerful voice inspired millions around the world. But behind her timeless music, Aretha was battling a silent, brutal battle of pancreatic cancer, a disease deeply linked to chronic inflammation and long-term cell damage. That's why today, we're lifting the veil. We'll look at how aflatoxins in dried packaged nuts and seeds, if consumed without caution, can be a hidden danger. And more importantly, how simple, smart choices can protect your liver and keep you healthy. Let's start by exposing a threat that even cautious older adults often overlook. 1. Why even clean-looking nuts can be dangerous. Tell me this. If a handful of nuts looks dry, clean, and fresh, it must be safe, right? Unfortunately, that's not always the case. Invisible to your eyes and tasteless on your tongue, tiny fungal toxins called aflatoxins can silently contaminate nuts, especially when they're stored too long in warm or moist conditions. And for older adults, aflatoxins aren't just a small problem. Let me help you understand this. In people over 60, the liver's ability to filter and repair itself naturally declines. When aflatoxins enter your system, they create tiny lesions in liver cells. Over time, those lesions cause inflammation, scar tissue, and surprise can lead to acute liver damage or silently set the stage for liver cancer. Picture this. You feel a little more tired after a meal. You notice your skin is a little yellow, or you bruise more easily than before. You might blame it on aging or a bad night's sleep. But sometimes, these subtle changes are your liver crying for help long before any doctor can detect a major problem. And here's the scary part. Aflatoxins don't need years to harm you. In susceptible older adults, even a few contaminated nuts eaten over and over again can start a silent process of damage that gets worse over time. That's why it's so important to be mindful now. Don't be afraid of nuts altogether. They still provide good nutrition. But only choose fresh, properly stored nuts from trusted sources and avoid bulk containers or old packages sitting on store shelves. If potential hazards surprised you today, please leave a comment below to let us know you learned something new about protecting your liver health. 2. How dry packaging nuts still leaves you exposed. If nuts are packaged dry and sealed, they must be completely safe, right? It's easy to think so. A clean package, a shiny label. It looks like protection. But here's the hidden truth. Aflatoxins don't need moisture to survive. Even in dry packaged nuts, microscopic molds can leave behind stable toxins that silently cling to food, invisible, tasteless, and deadly. Let me help you understand this. In older adults, after age 60 or 70, the liver becomes more vulnerable to oxidative stress. When aflatoxins enter your body, they don't just pass through, they attach to your liver cells and start damaging your DNA. Over time, this silent attack can turn healthy tissue into fibrotic scar tissue, quietly laying the groundwork for liver failure or liver cancer without any initial warning signs. Imagine this happening. You feel fine, but one morning you wake up feeling nauseous. Your appetite disappears. You chalk it up to a stomach virus, but it lasts for days, even weeks. By the time jaundice, confusion, or weakness appear, serious liver damage may have already begun. And here's the part that too many people miss. Dry packaging may protect against moisture, but it can't reverse what was already inside before the nuts were packaged. If the nuts were poorly harvested, poorly stored, or contaminated early, no amount of fancy packaging can eliminate the danger. That's why vigilance is more important than ever. Don't avoid nuts altogether, but buy from trusted brands that test for aflatoxins, favor small, sealed batches, and consume them within weeks, not months. If this opened your eyes today, leave a comment below to let us know you're ready to make smarter, safer choices now. you know? It's easy to feel overwhelmed when even dry, sealed packages can still carry silent threats. But don't worry, this isn't about giving up foods you love. It's about seeing them more clearly and making wiser choices to protect your health every single day. Because sometimes the danger doesn't come from what you can see, it comes from what you trust the most. In the next part, let's uncover how even healthy nuts, when we're not careful, can quietly start harming your liver without you ever realizing it. 3. When healthy nuts start harming your liver. Tell me this. You pick up a handful of nuts, almonds, pistachios, walnut nuts, thinking you're doing your body a favor. But what if I told you, sometimes the very foods you think will nourish you can secretly betray you? You see, nuts are a powerhouse of healthy fats and protein. That's true. But if aflatoxins are present, even in small, invisible amounts, they don't just stay put in your body. Let me help you understand this. In adults over 60, aflatoxins can bind directly to the DNA inside liver cells, mutating them, pushing them closer to cancerous changes. Over time, instead of nourishing your liver, contaminated nuts can slowly weaken your body's strongest protector. Picture this. You notice you're eating normally, but your weight starts to drop. You feel weaker, thinner, but can't pinpoint why. Your appetite disappears. Friends comment that you look tired or look a little thinner. You shrug it off, thinking it's just old age. But in reality, your liver may be struggling, silently losing the battle to microscopic toxins you've never even tasted. And here's the dangerous truth. You may not feel anything until your liver is severely damaged or tumors begin to form. That's why awareness today can save you tomorrow. Enjoy your nuts, but be selective. Look for products that are certified aflatoxin tested. Store them in an airtight container away from heat and rotate your snacks. Don't rely on the same batch for months. If this has you rethinking your snacking habits today, comment 3 below and let us know how you're taking back control of your health one small step at a time. 4. How slow toxic buildup can destroy your liver over time. Imagine a small leak in a water tank. At first it seems harmless. A few drops here, a few drops there, barely noticeable. But day after day, that slow leak drains the entire tank, leaving it brittle, dry, and cracked beyond repair. Now imagine your liver doing the same. Let me help you understand this. Your liver is your body's filtering system, working around the clock to keep you clean and energized. But as aflatoxins sneak in day after day, even in small amounts, they inflame the liver cells. The inflammation doesn't go away, it hardens into scar tissue. Slowly but surely, this leads to fibrosis, cirrhosis, or liver cancer, often before you feel any symptoms. Think about it. You may start waking up feeling tired. Simple walks become more difficult. Your appetite is slowly fading. It's easy to blame it on just getting older, but deep down, your liver may be losing its ability to fight. And the real danger? Slow damage almost never screams for help. It whispers until it's too late to fix it. That's why every little choice matters. Check your nuts before you eat them. Look for mold, smell for a musty smell, feel for softness. And if you're in doubt, it's better to throw them out than risk feeding silent damage. If this reminder helped you realize something today, comment 4 below and let us know you'll take an extra second to protect your health because your future self will thank you. You know? The scariest dangers aren't always the ones that strike fast. Sometimes it's the slow, quiet buildup, the kind that feels harmless day after day that causes the deepest scars inside. But the good news is, once you see the pattern, you can change it. You can choose differently, smarter, and sometimes Protecting yourself starts with simply looking a little deeper. Not just at what you eat, but at where it comes from. In the next part, let's uncover why even the prettiest packaging can't guarantee the safety of the nuts inside. 5. Why pretty packaging doesn't guarantee safe nuts. It's funny how the most dangerous traps are often the ones that look the best. A bright, colorful package of mixed nuts may catch your eye at the store, promising health and goodness. But behind that pretty wrapper, something much more toxic may be lurk. Silent toxins that your liver can't see, smell, or taste. Most packaging these days is designed to impress, not protect. If nuts are poorly handled before packaging, stored in damp warehouses, shipped through hot climates, aflatoxins may already be inside, locked in to the core of the food. Sealing them in a shiny bag doesn't undo the damage, it simply hides it better. Your liver doesn't care how pretty the label looks, it only knows what you eat. And as aflatoxins sneak in, day after day, they slowly choke off your liver's ability to heal, filter, and protect you, leading to scarring, weakness, and, in the worst cases, cancer. You might notice dry skin, bloating after meals, a nagging fatigue that won't go away. Little things, easy to ignore, but small signs are often how big problems start. The scary thing is that you may never suspect anything until years later, when the damage is no longer reversible. That's why you have to look beyond the surface. Buy from trusted brands. Look for certifications that show they've been tested for aflatoxin. Protect yourself before you even take your first bite. If this makes you look at store shelves differently today, leave a 5 comment below and share this with someone you care about. 6. Why seasoned nuts might be even riskier. Sweetness can sometimes mask bitterness. Honey-roasted almonds, sweet salty cashews, the buttered pecans you enjoy while watching TV, they taste comforting, fun, familiar. But sometimes what feels safest hides the deepest risks. Let me explain. Seasoned nuts, whether honey, barbecue, or butter, often hide subtle changes that would normally alert you that something is amiss. Spices, oils, and coatings can mask signs of spoilage, like a strange odor, a slimy texture, or a slight moldiness. And under all that flavor, if aflatoxins are present, you have no way of knowing. For older adults, that's especially dangerous. As your digestive system slows down with age, your body becomes less efficient at breaking down toxins. Aflatoxins absorbed through seasoned nuts can silently irritate the lining of your gut, seep into your bloodstream, and put additional strain on an aging liver. Imagine you start feeling bloated after snacking, with a tight feeling in your stomach. You assume it's a heavy meal or a little gas. But as the weeks and months go by, you notice that your digestion isn't as strong as it used to be. Your energy isn't as steady. Your body feels heavier, even when you're snacking on healthy foods. And here's the silent danger. Hidden toxins love to lurk where you least expect them, in your favorite flavors, your little treats. That's why being selective is a powerful form of self-care. When you're shopping for nuts, opt for whole, unsalted varieties. If you crave flavor, lightly season your own at home, where you control the freshness, and eat them within a few weeks. If this gives you a new way to protect your health today, comment 6 below, and let's be wiser with even the snacks we think we know best. 7. How improper storage turns nuts into a hidden danger. Most people think the real danger is outside, in factories, warehouses, grocery stores. But the truth is, sometimes the biggest threat starts right at home. It's not just what you buy. How you store it can change everything. Let me get this straight. Nuts are delicate. Even a small amount of moisture trapped inside a jar or a warm, unchecked kitchen counter can turn them into the perfect breeding ground for aflatoxins. You won't smell it, you won't see it, but the toxins will build up slowly, becoming more entrenched with each passing day. And for older adults, whose immune systems and liver function naturally decline with age, even small amounts of aflatoxins can silently cause chronic inflammation, eating away at your health bit by bit. Imagine this happening without you even realizing it. You start to feel bloated after a meal. A strange fatigue sets in. Maybe you blame it on the weather or old age, but inside, your liver may be fighting a silent invasion. Not from what you bought, but from what you stored wrong. And here's the disturbing truth. The damage doesn't usually start at the grocery store. It often starts quietly, invisibly, in your kitchen. That's why being careful after your shopping trip is just as important as choosing the right foods. Always store your nuts in an airtight container. Keep them in a cool, dry place, preferably in the fridge if you live in a humid climate, and use them within a few weeks rather than forgetting them in the back of the pantry. If this gives you a new way to think about how to actually protect yourself, comment 7 below, and let's all commit to protecting our health from the very first step all the way to the door. You know, most people think allergy testing is just for kids. Maybe something you do when you're young, not when you're over 60. But here's the quiet truth. Your immune system doesn't stay the same throughout your life. After 60, subtle shifts inside your body can create new vulnerabilities you never had before, including late-onset nut allergy. Let me explain this clearly. As you age, your digestive system slows down, stomach acid decreases, and your immune defenses start to behave differently. Foods you once tolerated perfectly, like almonds, walnuts, pistachios, can suddenly trigger unexpected reactions. And without proper testing, these new allergies often hide behind everyday complaints. Fatigue after meals, slight swelling, rashes, breathing discomfort, or even digestive problems that are easy to mistake for just getting older. Imagine how easily it happens. You start feeling a little queasy after snacking. Maybe your skin itches at night. You pass it off as nothing. But inside, your body might be quietly fighting a battle you can't see. And without diagnosis, you never get the chance to defend yourself properly. Here's the thing. Waiting for severe reactions to appear is like waiting for a smoke alarm to go off only when the house is already burning. Early testing, a simple skin prick test, a blood test, or even an elimination diet under a doctor's care can catch these problems before they spiral into emergencies. That's why smart seniors don't just assume they're fine. They check, they ask, they test. If this made you realize the power of staying one step ahead, comment "I will check" below, because protecting your future starts with a single smart decision today. You know, it's not always the years behind us that weaken our bodies. Sometimes it's the small things we trusted, like the nuts we've eaten for decades, that quietly start to turn against us as we change. You don't have to be afraid of nuts. You just need to listen to your body, stay alert, and choose wisely. You don't have to give up the foods you love. Just be a little more mindful. Choose fresh, simple options. Pay attention to how you feel after eating. Think back to the last time you felt strong, energized, ready to enjoy every step of your day. That feeling is still within reach. It just needs your care. I know many of you are quietly watching, maybe wondering if this really matters for you or someone close to you. But what if one small action today, one check, one test, one better choice could protect a life you love, even your own? Comment below if this opened your eyes to something you hadn't realized about late-onset nut allergy. Share this video with your family, especially those you know are over 60. And make sure to subscribe to the HEALZO channel, where every small step you take today builds a stronger, safer tomorrow.